Okay. Hi, Scott. Thank you so much for joining me today for this interview for our tribal entrepreneurship program as one of our liaisons for the program. Just to get started, I would like for you to introduce yourself, what you do, and kind of what led you to start this work as a liaison.
Okay, so again, name is Scott Tafoya, and I am from Santa Clara Pueblo originally. That's where I grew up, I have come from a background of being in ministry for over 30 years, but also a variety of other roles, along with being a pastor. I've been a business owner. I've been a manager for a men's halfway house and a business manager for that halfway house. I'm now driving school buses, so I have quite a varied background. Have done some teaching along the way as well in the higher education field. And eventually, through that whole process of continuing my own education, I was able to become certified as a professional coach and became affiliated with John Maxwell and his team of coaches and speakers and teachers, and have been focusing on helping our Native Americans with their leadership development. And in that context, I was able to meet Cecilia, and she approached me about helping with the work that UNM was doing in this program of the Rainforest Innovations Program in helping Native entrepreneurs and business owners with their efforts to create and have a sustained business and a sustained impact in carrying out their dreams. And so I thought that fit real well with some of my skills that I've learned over the recent years, and the direction that I want to go as an entrepreneur myself. And so that's why I'm here.
So kind of touching on the topic of entrepreneurship, what does entrepreneurship mean to you and within your community?
Yeah, I think a lot of what it means is having the freedom, time-wise and resources-wise. You know, of course, the financial piece is always a part of life, but I think one of the reasons entrepreneurs go down that path sometimes is because they have a desire to meet a particular need that they see, or sometimes maybe they just want to make a buck, I don't know. but they have a desire to make an impact of some kind, and being an entrepreneur and not having to work for somebody else per se gives them the freedom time-wise, as well as provides the resources, if they're successful, to be able to do the very thing that they started off wanting to do in the first place. So in my mind, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. And of course, sometimes that impact that they want to make can be very, very large. The dream can be big. Other times it can be more it can be smaller in the sense of just providing for their own personal needs, I suppose.
Kind of touching on the topic of needs, based on conversations that you've had with entrepreneurs that you've been meeting with, what are some of the needs that you've seen being identified by those entrepreneurs within your community?
Yeah, I think one of the needs is just in the few conversations I've had so far is maybe there's a sense of aloneness. When you're an entrepreneur, a lot of times you're out there, especially in the early stages before you've developed a team or hired other employees to work with you. there's a sense of aloneness in making that effort to reach the success levels that you want to reach. So I think that's one of the needs. I sense that sometimes there's some specific current business needs that they need support with. Maybe they need help with the website or financial accounting or that aspect of their business, or maybe even improving policies within their company that as they're growing, they realize the need to improve those kind of things. I think another need that I became aware of in one of my conversations recently was an individual was expressing some frustration in the fact that they had a hard time competing with larger companies because of some of their lack of financial resources to be bonded and some of those kinds of requirements that were out there. And so having resources to overcome some of those kind of barriers is one of the needs that I've become aware of. So those are a few. Mhm.
How do you see yourself being able to impact those needs with your work as a liaison through the Tribal Entrepreneurship Program?
Yeah, I think just being able to come alongside them, to be someone who can reach out to them. I think I've been sort of surprised that a number of folks who I have actually reached out to have been very receptive to actually meeting with me and talking with me. And so I think I see myself as being able to maybe come alongside them, help them discover some of those specific needs, and then using those coaching skills that I have in particular to help them start to chart and navigate the steps that they need and want to take in order to be successful. Mm-hmm.
So what is one piece of advice that you'd give to an entrepreneur looking to grow their business, or an aspiring entrepreneur interested in starting up their business? What's one piece of advice that you would give to them while they're starting off, or maybe if they're a little unsure or afraid to take the leap or to engage with our program? What's one piece of advice you'd give?
Yeah, I think it would be just to take the time that's needed to do some specific work, getting specific and honest about what their dream is, and sometimes the dream there has to be some reality to go along with it, and if in the course of doing that work, if they have a sense of confirmation, and if they feel fueled even more to pursue that dream, then go for it. But I think the advice is take the time to think into what their dream is and what it will take to make that dream a reality, because it's daunting. They have to stay motivated if they're going to pursue that dream, and they need to be making some success. They need to be having some success along the way, or they're going to get discouraged. And so I think that would be the advice that I would give. And I even have some resources myself that I can offer in doing that.
That's great advice. And I mean, just from my conversations with you, I already know you're a great, not just a great liaison for us, but a great coach and mentor in general. So before we get off of this interview, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to leave us with?
Oh, I think, it strikes me that there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of resources out there to be accessed. And the more we can help people to do that, and again, to take the steps that they need to take, to be successful, and to have a sense of meaningfulness in what they're doing. I think that would be good.
Well, thank you so much for joining me for this interview, and I hope people will reach out for a conversation with you in the future. So thank you, Scott.
Well, thank you, Cecilia. I appreciate the opportunity.